I want to begin by acknowledging the pain felt by those who have been disrespected because of their sexual orientation or gender identity. My darling brother came out in 1975, which was extremely difficult for him. I was very involved in his world, and I understand the challenges that many experience within the rainbow community. Pete died 8 years ago, and I miss him dearly. I've worked with around 600 young people, including gay and transgender youth, on the Miomo Independence Program that I founded in 2009. Miomo equips young people to confidently leave home and enter adulthood. Independence really is a team effort, and that's why I also work with parents. My goal is that young people are never kicked out of home, nor that they leave home with their middle finger in the air. So I'm really passionate about keeping young people and their parents connected. In 2011, I was the parent on the TV reality show, The World's Strictest Parents. It's a most unfortunate name. It's really like the super nanny for teens. And so far, my episode has had around 16 million views, and over 100 young people have contacted me from seeing it. Some just want the inside gossip, but most of them want me to mentor them, as I did with the 2 teens on the show that I'm in touch with 10 years on. In 2020, a teenage boy reached out to me. He was really struggling, and so over the last year, I've helped him to build his self-esteem, write a CV, manage his time, and so on. Very recently, he asked me a relationship question. Yvonne, he said, I'm bisexual. How do I tell my friends? And since this was completely new, I asked him, why did he think he was bisexual? And he said, because this very nice man had been chatting with him online and wanted to meet up. After asking him a few questions, my young friend saw that the nice man was actually grooming him for sex, and that's not what he wanted. My friend has now decided that he's actually not bisexual at all. He does want love, but he is very, very emotionally vulnerable. So in light of this bill, I'm afraid that I won't be able to give that kind of guidance to our young people in the future. According to the bill, a parent or a mentor like me is engaging in conversion practice if they intentionally change or suppress their child's gender expression, gender identity, or sexual orientation. But it would appear that there is another conversion practice running amok, and it's called social media. Here is an excerpt from the Lisa Littman study on rapid onset gender dysphoria, March 2019. It reads, in online forums, parents have reported that their children who are experiencing a sudden or rapid onset of gender dysphoria also exhibited an increase in social media and internet use prior to disclosure of a transgender identity. Academics have raised questions about the role of social media in the development of gender dysphoria, end of excerpt. So if a parent attempts to restrict their child's exposure to this content, is that parent engaging in suppression? And I ask the question that has repeatedly come up in these submissions: how will parents know if they've crossed the threshold into criminality? I'm also concerned that there's no lower age limit to this bill. And with girls as young as 8 reaching puberty, is this bill allowing a child of 8 to take puberty blockers without the consent of a parent? And what if that child or any child changes their mind, as many do? Who then takes responsibility for the potential biological and psychological harm to that child? The Youth Law New Zealand website states that those belonging to the Tattoo Artists Association work to a code of ethics not to tattoo a child under the age of 18 without a parent's consent. I asked for provision in the bill to prevent a child making a decision about puberty blockers, sex hormones, or surgery before the age of 18 without parental consent. I've heard that it's unlikely that a parent will be prosecuted, but I would argue that long before prosecution, a significant amount of damage could be done to the parent-child relationship. I foresee the diminishing of a parent's mana in the eyes of their child, and this lack of mana could lead to the child feeling insecure in their parent's leadership as the parent becomes confused about how to guide their child and fearful of prosecution if they get it wrong. Distrust and distance will develop between parents and their children, reducing respectful and open discussions regarding sexuality and gender, which of course is one of the objectives of the bill. The government expects parents to take responsibility and to have input into their children on every other subject except this one. Please make clear provision within this bill for parents and trusted elders to lovingly guide the children in their care into their adult lives. Thank you very much.